What a day it has been already. I know some of you all, and the fast is rapidly diminishing. And I pray that anything you started this fast with is rapidly diminishing. I pray that you just don't go through this fast and be the same when you finish. But when you finish the fast, some things in your life are finished. A fast is not something that causes us to be perfect within the fast. A fast is to help us manage the perfection that's yet on its way. A fast is to work out the spiritual systematic process of joy and to help us see move in a different perspective of life. And so today, as we are days away from stepping into a new dimension within this decade, we ask that you be attentive to God's word, and thank you so much for coming and watching via streaming, because the only thing that's going to take care of us throughout life is the word of God. And so with that, listen to the word of God. Ashley and Eric back there, we're going to start. I think most of these are, these are plenty of ESV, NLT, and NIV. Bishop, why did you do the spattering of different versions? Because I want you to get an understanding of what thus saith the Lord. Joshua 23:5 ESV version. The Lord, your God, will push. I wish you move your head real slow and look at somebody and say, push. We'll push them back before you. In your presence, he pushed them back. And then what else will he do? Drive them out of your sight. And you shall possess their land, just as the Lord your God promised you. Now, we really can go right now. We really could say amen, because he's going to push some stuff out. But let's go to 1 King 22 and 11. 1 King 22 and 11. And Zedekiah, the son of Chanah, made for himself horns of what? Iron. And said, thus saith the Lord, with these, you shall, say it with me, push. Oh God, the Syrians until they are destroyed. Somebody already know where we going. I wish you whisper at your neighbor, I'm pushing my stuff out. Oh God. Go to the 44th number of Psalm, verse 5. It says, through you we do what? Push down. Say it with me. Push down our foes. Through your name we tread down those who rise up against us. I wish somebody say push. Let me come out of that before I get started. Go to the 118th number of Psalm, verse 13. Again, also ESV. It says, I was pushed hard so that I was falling. But I love that comma there, followed by a conjunction. It say, but the Lord, God Almighty, help me. He helped me. Helped us. Oh God. Go to the 36th number of Psalm, verse 11. This time transition into the New Living Translation. Elder-elect Adrian, New Living Translation. Psalms 36 and 11. Watch what it says. Don't let the proud trample me, or the wicked push me around. I'm trying to get there. Look at your neighbor and say, watch your pushing, watch your pushing, watch your pushing. Let's get this last one and tag this text. Also in the New Living Translation, Isaiah 25 and 11. It say, God will do what? Push down Moab's people as a swimmer pushes down waters with his hand. He will end their pride and all their evil works. Let's tag this text with a quick title. Pushing down your limitations. Come on, say it over here. Say pushing down your limitations. Over here one time, say pushing down your limitations. Let's just make it personal. Say, I'm going to push down my limitations. Well, in spite of the great words of God, we're taught in school not to push. Elder Gold, the teachers, Chief Elder, all the teachers as a kid, we're taught, all the educators in here from elementary to high, don't push people. We were taught that. Matter of fact, they tell you to get in line. And if by chance, and I've been the victim of it, if you push somebody down, you're going to get suspended. Because when you push people down, there's a possibility that they can injure themselves. And maybe that social etiquette has kind of messed us up in the Holy Ghost. It is correct. You don't need to be pushing people. But sis, we're talking about the spirit now. But some of us don't really understand. I believe it has caused us, that social etiquette of doing right has caused us, I wish somebody catch me right here, it has caused us to be spiritually reserved. Spiritually depowered and shy. And so now when the enemy comes in our life and put limitations up, we're not bold enough to push them down. But today, I wish somebody said, but today, we're going to push some limitations down. Maybe you were the victim of being pushed down in school. Maybe. And so now you are traumatized about the process of losing your equilibrium and your balance. And you understand that if you fall, you don't know what's going to happen. And so now you won't push the devil because you're concerned about him. But I wish you tell your neighbor, I don't care where he fall, as long as he fall out of my life. We're talking about in this year of a kingdom perspective mouth, so we're talking about kingdom pushing. Kingdom pushing. Too often we limit ourselves. We limit ourselves to thinking that as Christians we have got to be so passive, so weak. And whatever comes, Lord, you're going to help me through it. He is. But sometimes he wants us to stand up and say the devil is a lie, and you better get back before. Let me come out of that time. Oh, God. We've all had those moments when we feel like we need to pull, and something is pulling us to do some things, but we hesitate. We hold back because of the fear of the unknown. You had never done it. Your mama didn't do it. Your daddy didn't do it. All the people that you knew that were saved wouldn't do it. And so now you hold back because we think that we will be categorized as unsaved. But that is so far from the truth. The limitation looks so big in our life, and that make us look small. But the last time I checked my Bible, Jesus went into the temple. Money changers in there, money laundering. Everything was going on, and Jesus took a whip, sat down in a chair, and braided it together. See, I'm going to work this thing out so somebody feel the power of my pushing. And cleaned out the temple. So if we are Christians, Christ-like, when we going to push some stuff, say it with me, down. Well, the Bible tells us here that there are no limitations with God. If this is a kingdom perspective year, there's no limitations. We all have some opportunities to be successful, but we hesitate. We hesitate. The pull we feel is the prompting of the Holy Spirit. And listening to him, we should push. But instead of pushing, we want a spiritual cesarean. No pushing, just take it. Oh, God. But spiritual cesareans calls for long process of recovery. The Old Testament, the only thing that held the children of Israel from occupying the land for all those years was their fear, their negative thinking. In Numbers 13, 26 through 33, the fear and the negative thinking that we can't do it. They thought we just can't do it. Why? Because they had been in bondage for so long. And to even push against your master would get you killed. But in 2020, anything in your way, you need to be bold enough, bad enough, big enough, bright enough to push it down. Unapologetically push it down. But how many of us think that way? Regardless of who we are and the circumstances, we sometimes have lost our ability to take over. And you can't take over, you can't get in, you can't even get out unless you push. The reason why some people are extremely successful in life and others are not is because the ones that are successful have learned to push. Push, 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 push. This kingdom pushing is pushing down limitations that's blocking us in to a corner. I got to say that I remember about 7 years ago, I was watching a report, and they were talking about military kids. What caught my attention, and there was a boy and a girl, and they were talking about how they move so much. And every time they got to a new location, the little kids on the playground wouldn't accept them, wouldn't let them play. And so they went home and told their mother, who was from the South. Everybody know where we going now. And the mother said, push them out of your way. So the little boy and the girl, who was about 8 and 9, took it to another level. When they got to the playground the first day, they were playing and somebody stepped in front of them. They couldn't even get the ball. And so the brother and the sister looked at each other, and they collectively pushed the big bully down. Ran out there on the field to get the ball, and somebody else came and they pushed them down. Before long, people was looking at them, other students. They started running after everyone else, and the people that were pushing them started running from them. What you saying, Bishop? If you start pushing, your enemy will run from you. We must change our way of thinking about this word possession. Oh, Lord. When we hear that word possession, sometimes as Christians, we think demonic instead of dominion. Maybe I need to say that again. Whenever we hear the word possession, we think something in us. But possession means something you're going to take. Stop using the word possession as demonic and turn it into dominion. Let me watch this. I really want to talk real quick about this thing, the disadvantages. The disadvantages of limitations. See, our thoughts are powerful. They can either keep us behind the limitations, or we can push the obstacles and barriers down and out of our way. It's all in our mind and our attitude and our actions. The disadvantages to limitations, let me run through them real quick, are number one, the disadvantage of limitation, it will keep you in the same location and situation. A limitation just keep you there. You ain't going nowhere, you in the same place. Somebody passed by you in 97 and come back in 2007, you still there. Keep you in the same situation and location. A limitation has you corralled in. Number two, a limitation will take away your ability to achieve more, have more, and get more. A limitation will put you in a state of blindness and muteness. Can't hear or see. Watch this. Limitations will take away your dreams and dry up your expectations. And nothing worse than a dry, non-dreaming Christian. Say, Bishop, you talk to the Christians, I am. Because those that are not saved, we're wasting our time unless we can get them to get this word. And we are the ones that can give them this word. The limitation, let me jump from the advantages, disadvantages, and I want to talk. See, limitation causes pre-pushing delays. I'll say that again. Limitation causes pre-pushing delays. In other words, you want to push, but there's something that's keeping you from pushing. Let me see if we can articulate that. The first thing that keeps us from pushing, we in that pre-pushing delay, is that first we got to realize what's in our way is the limitations, called realization. We got to come to realization that this thing is a limitation. In other words, that's called analyzation of your limitation. Things happen all around us, and we don't realize that this thing is a limitation. We think it's a friend. We think it's predestined. But when we realize that what is a limitation That's called analyzation. And now you realize that that's a limitation. That's number one. Number two, then when we do that, we look at the limitation. We know it's one, but we just stand there and look at it. That's called visual limitation. You know it's a limitation. Now you're just looking at it. You looked at it in 2019, 18, 17, 16, 14, 13, and 12, just looking at it. You realized it in 97, but now you're just looking at it. Visual limitations. And then the third thing we do in this pre-pushing delay, we speak to the limitation. We realized it, we're looking at it. Now we bold enough because we heard a great sermon, we say, be gone. And limitation look at you and say, I ain't going nowhere. We speak to it. We do a whole lot of speaking. We go off into tongues into it. And the limitation is still there. That's called vocal limitations. Vocal limitations, visual limitations, analyzation limitation. And then all of a sudden something happened, and we get the nerve enough to at least move towards the limitation. But that's all we did. We got close to the limitation. That's called directional limitations. You got in the direction of it, but you still ain't doing nothing. Only when we decide that we're getting ready to push this limitation, and we put force on it, that we have success. Looking at it, talking about it, realizing, getting close to it ain't doing no good. But when you push, you see that picture up there? When you push, some things change. Well, let me transition to go to the advantages of pushing down limitations. There's some advantages. First of all, pushing changes your location and the limitation location. Because now you have moved out of your box and you've got to a different place and you push that limitation to a different place. So now you have an advantage because you're not in your old place where demons know your telephone number and your address. The next one is the act of pushing produces newness. If you've been standing here for 20 years, just standing here, and now all of a sudden you move over here, you got a new perspective. You can see more, you can do more, only because you pushed. Pushing opens the pathway to new opportunities in the spirit. Some say, well, I've been like this because you hadn't pushed your way into new opportunities. Well, ain't nobody helping me because you ain't pushed your way in. Pushing announces you're not afraid or fearful. When you announce it, no, I'm not taking this anymore. Watch this. Pushing sends a message. I'm tired of these limitations and everything associated with it. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you will push. Has anybody ever been in a place where maybe the temperature was too hot, you in a car, a room, and it was hot, and all of a sudden you just got up and turned the air down yourself or took your jacket off? That's called pushing. You're tired of it. It's uncomfortable. Don't feel right. Let me come out of that. Pushing displays your spiritual power. Watch this last one. Pushing reflects I'm establishing my respect. You're saying in the spirit, devil, and whatever else is, I'm going to have my respect. I'm going to push it down. Now, some of you all, I hear you, some of you all in the spirit saying, Bishop, you know how y'all say, how do you push down these limitations? That sounds real good, Bishop, but how do we do it? Because you know, Bishop, we're holy. My answer, we talked about it at Word of Knowledge, you're not that holy. So let me give you some answers. Number one, you have to get some spiritual strength inside of you. That's the first thing. You can't push nothing if you weak, broke, busted, and disgusted. What is that strength? You got to get some word in you. You got to have you some power scriptures. Violent, take it by force. You got to have some scripture that boosts you up. Spiritual energizer. You got to have some spiritual word in you to get some strength. Number two, you got to get your arms in the right position. In other words, get your arms up. How you get your arms up? First, you start by your daily exercise of praise. Praise every day. Praise. So now when it's time for you to push, you ain't got to go this high. You go halfway and push. You got to get your arms in the right. I ain't never seen nobody push anyone with their arms on their side. Watch this. Number three, you got to get your feet planted. You got to get you see how that man's feet up there, they planted. But part two of that, you got to bend your knees. I ain't talking about this, but you got to bend your knees in prayer. You got to bend your knees late at night and early in the morning. So when you're getting ready to push, you're accustomed to bending your knees. Watch this. Number four, you have to move against everything that's against you. You got to move against it. Everything that's against you or in your way. Let me get out here. Let me call my witness, because I wish you tell your neighbor, push your limitations down. Now tell another, because they don't believe, say push your limitations down. Let me call my witness real quick. Say, come here, woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garments. Go to Luke chapter 8, verse 42b clause through 48 in the NIV version. Now, this story here, thousands of people have preached this about the woman with the issue of blood, or the woman who touched the garment of Jesus. But in this, we have missed some things, because if you go to verse 42 in the B clause, it said, as Jesus, NIV version, B clause of verse 42, as Jesus was on his way. Don't miss this in the NIV version. It say the crowd was almost crushing him. You know what that means? That means they were pushing him. Y'all come here for a minute. That the crowd was all around him. Get on one side, Deacon David. Deacon Payne, get on the other side. Get real close. Get real close. And get real close. See, they were pushing Jesus. And now Jesus was just trying to do some stuff, but they were pushing Jesus. And Jesus was saying, what's going on? There's so many people around him. They were pushing Jesus' thing. But what we got to understand, that pressure gonna come. It says the crowd almost crushed him. Verse 42b. Watch verse 43. And a woman was there. I got to stop right there. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. I got to stop right there. First of all, it was illegal to even come out in public with that type of physical condition. But the Bible says that she was there. That means she had pushed her way to get there. She didn't care what was going on. She had pushed her way because she was there. Watch this. 12 years she had been looking around and said, next time something come my way, I'm going to push my way and get in. Watch this. But no one could heal her. So she said, I'm going to push my way. Watch this. Watch verse 44. She came behind him. Good God Almighty. She came behind him. If you really go into the historicity of that particular text, she couldn't just walk up to Jesus because you saw they was on the side. She had to get down. Sometimes you don't have to stand up to push. She had to get down. And some theologians say she had to crawl. She crawled her way. Don't miss what I'm getting ready to say. She had to crawl sideways because she had an issue of blood. She had to crawl sideways to get to Jesus. Sometimes you got to crawl sideways and get on the floor to get to Jesus to push your way. Watch this. She came behind him and she touched the edge of his cloak. Sometimes we try to grab too much. She didn't try to grab everything. It says she touched the edge. When you get to where you need to go, all you need is a tip. All you need is an edge. It says she touched the edge of his garment. And don't miss this. Don't miss this. It says, and immediately, verse 44, and immediately her bleeding stopped. She pushed her way to her healing. You got to push your way to your healing. But this is what I love, verse 45. Jesus said, with all this, come in. You know, right. Jesus said, with all this going on, he said, somebody touch me. But they touched him at the hem of his garment. And she was behind him. So he had to do like this. Just because you're behind, that don't mean Jesus forgot about you. He said, somebody touch me. Who touched me? Jesus said, verse 45, when all that denied, and Peter, you know Peter, big mouth Peter, Peter said, Master, the people are crowded and pressing against you. Pressing. They were pressing against him, but they had no effect. A lot of us have done a lot of pressing, but not enough pushing. Watch this right here, verse 46. But Jesus said, someone touch me. I know that the power has gone out from me. I got to stop you right there. If the power came out of his hem, it went somewhere. It went into the one who had pushed their way. And the power went from him to her, and she pushed her way to healing. Some of us don't have our healing because we've had no touch of the power. You got to push your way to get the touch of the power. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. In verse 46, Jesus said, someone touch me. I know the power has gone out of me. Someone push down that limitation. That lady pushed down limitation to get to the power. Watch this, verse 47. We're going to close out 47, 48. Then the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet. I got to stop you right there. If she had touched the hem of his garment sideways, when she got the healing, she stood up. Once you get your healing, tell your neighbor, get up. Once you press your weight, get up. And when she got up, she realized now, because Jesus had turned around and saw that everybody was looking at her. Watch what she did. Somebody said, bend your knees. She went back to the master and got on her knees again. What you saying, Bishop? Sometimes you got to stay in constant prayer. Watch this, watch this, watch this. And she came and fell at his feet, verse 47. You don't have to be standing for no one else but you. And you only need to bend to the master. It's in the presence of the people, she told why she had touched him. And now she had been instantly healed. I got to talk for a minute. Her testimony became real because of her pushing. And others that were just pressing realized that they need to get down on their knees and get the true power. See, what you're going through is not just for you. Your pushing down limitations is for everybody else, because we are delivered by our testimonies. We got to learn that we're pushing limitations down so someone else can look up. I got to come out of that. Let me do this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Last verse 48. Come on, Minister Ray. Then he said to her, I so love this, daughter. First he said, somebody touch me. But in the instantaneous process of the pushing of limitations and the healing, she went from somebody to daughter. If you get there and get some of his power, you will go from somebody to daughter. Brothers, you will go from somebody to son. He said, daughter, don't miss this. Your faith has healed you. Your pushing will heal you and transition you from a somebody, from a anybody, to kingdomship authority. Because she touched with faith. Your faith will help you push past limitation. He said, has healed you. And then he said, watch this. He said, watch it. He said, go in peace. In this morning with the men, he said, go in peace. When you push past your limitations, you will have some peace. But only when you push past your limitations. When you push down limitations, what comes up is peace. If you want peace today, it's your day. I wish you look at somebody and say, let's push down our limitations. Give the Lord a hand praise right there.